Welcome back to another episode of On the Subject. I'm your host, Michael Vilardo, co-founder and CEO of Subject, subject.com, subject.ai. You know where to find us. And today we are very lucky. We have our first return guest, everyone. Be ready, be excited. And last time we chatted was last February, so a year ago. We were in Los Angeles doing an incredible conference on innovation and leadership, and we're really lucky to have this guy here. And now we are back and ready to announce for the first time live on the air our exceptional inaugural partnership between TPH Academy and Subject Technologies. We're so excited to have you back here, Nathan Bowen.
Good to see you, man.
Thanks founder of TPH. So we're really lucky to have this guy here. He's had an incredible career, and what he's done over the last 25 years is help tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, students and athletes going through an incredibly rigorous program where you can prioritize sports and academics. Very special opportunity. So I love to start with the roots, though. So you came to the States to play at UAH, correct?
Right.
University of Alabama, Huntsville. And for those of you that don't know, this is a Division I ice hockey team, the farthest south Division I hockey team there's ever been. What was that like?
It was amazing. You know, we were actually, it's actually Division II school at the time when I came down. So, you know, we were fortunate enough. We won, they won the national championship the year before I came. And then we were fortunate enough to win sophomore year.
National champion.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, you walk with those brothers for life, you know, and some of them are still, you know, business partners in what we're doing. And others, you know, we keep obviously very close contact with. We're coming up actually on a little bit of a milestone reunion coming up here, I think, in a year or two to celebrate.
Was it your 30th?
30th, yeah.
30th? Wow, let's go. Wow. So that means you started TPH pretty quickly into your adult career.
Yeah, we did. So we're actually, you know, our hockey brand, Total Package Hockey, we're going to turn 25 years old.
Incredible. And now what's the overall brand now? So that way we could tell the fans.
Well, TPH Academy, right, is our multi-sport day academy model. And that's where we're super fortunate and just so pumped, you know, with our new relationship, and especially with all the help for us to get TPH Academy online launched. Thankfully, too, with Adam's leadership and all the work. I mean, you guys are incredible to work with. You got phenomenal staff that, I mean, the customer service is just through the roof. But
thank you.
I think something that's really, really critical, because I talk to my own kids about this, is the utilization of AI. And the fact that our kids are now going to be able to be taught and supported, right, with Spark and, you know, the other tools that you guys continue to build and grow. And I just think, I ask my kids every day, hey, did you use it today? And it's not necessarily to go find out, hey, what all the answers are, right, and get them to use AI to do the work. No, it's how can it be prompted? How does it figure out how each individual child learns, right? And I think,
you know, it's personalized and localized always.
100%. And it's just where things are going. And those that embrace it and learn how to use it, in my opinion, are the ones that are going to be effective and walk into some really, really super exciting jobs, you know, once they're done high school or once they're done college. So
yeah, a lot of people talk about, you know, in the 1980s, they wanted to ban calculators. They thought that calculators were cheating your way through math, and it wasn't going to be a good appropriate. You're never going to have a calculator in your pocket, but now you do with a phone.
Everywhere.
It's there in a second. So when people talk about AI, it's so important that you lean into the tool, because chances are 15 years from now, every single person is going to be using AI on a regular basis, if not within the next 5 years, if not within the next year. And so the people who can use it faster and better, they're going to have a better chance at a career. So we really want to lean into it. You know, when you talk about the approach you've taken at TPH Academy, now you have 19 disciplines across 3 different countries. You know, what's your vision for TPH, and how can we better support you?
Well, I love your vision, right? Which is you want it to have access to as many of the students as possible, right? We're no different. We want to scale our impact. That's why we partnered with Subject, the ability to scale and scale quicker in order to provide that access to as many student athletes as possible and that want to take advantage of it. Like that's literally what we're all about. And I think, again, and this goes back to AI, is the ability to create efficiencies so that the kids can spend time doing what they really love to do. You know, our CEO, Francis Anzalone, is amazing and a super, super sharp dude. And he's always said, the sport is the spark. Right?
I like that. That's awesome. Yeah.
Maybe pun intended.
Yeah. Good.
Anyways, you know, so the fact that we can create an efficiency that the kids can get the amount of time, it's focused learning that they can then get what they need, right, to still stay on a great path, to still get into the best schools in the country or whatever school that they want to go to next. But they get to spend more time on some of the other things that they love, which again also includes family dinner time. The amount of families that come back to us and say, you know, we had dinner on a Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. That hasn't happened in 7 years, right? Because it's not running from place to place to place.
Worst.
And so, you know, again, that's why we love
I'm super envious. I would have loved it on TPH when I was growing up.
100%.
And now we have some really great campuses right by my house. The Windy City Storm, that would have been 20 minutes from where I grew up. Would have been such a godsend for me. Instead, to your point, you know, I was at school. We started at 7:25, so you got to wake up at 6:30. 6:30 wake up, 7:25 start. You go till 3:15. Then you have driver's ed. Driver's ed is from 4 to 6. Then you have off ice. You have off ice from 7 to 8. Then you're on the ice 9 to 10.
Right.
Home at 11, asleep by 11:30, do it all over again. Talk about the advantage that you have getting to leverage a academy approach versus having to potentially have 3 or 4 commutes in a day and not know necessarily how you're going to get better during a regular school day.
So again, I think number one is sleep. Right?
Sleep is the biggest performance drug you could take.
There you go, right? And now that's provided the discipline is at home, right? And that's where it also comes down to household and parents and the responsibility of controlling phone and screen time, right? We all know and understand what a challenge maybe that could be, but like that is critical, right? So this gives the kids the opportunity to get a heck of a lot more sleep back, right? Which is important.
I didn't even think about that. I love that insight. That is like, see, that's some real knowledge drop right there for you fans.
Second thing is diet, right? Think about your schedule that you just talked about. Like you're stopping at Chick-fil-A then too.
It's the worst. Yeah, right? all the time. Yeah, I remember when I would get home, I'd have Eggo waffles every night, like clockwork. I look forward to it. No, I remember every night I have Eggo waffles.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously there's some better alternatives.
Sorry, Eggo, don't hate us. Yeah. We'd still welcome a brand new.
Yeah. But like that's where, you know, condensing and creating those efficiencies and the academy model being a one-stop shop. And for me, I remember PE class, for instance. I don't know if you've read the book Range. It's
no, I haven't. Who's the author?
Geez, I'm drawing a blank right now. But
Range, go check it out.
Yeah, Ken Martell at USA Hockey actually.
Oh, I love that guy. Yeah, he's great.
He's amazing. And mentioned it to me several years ago and read it. And what that took me back to is PE class back in the day where like I learned to play badminton or do gymnastics or volleyball or basketball. You learn the rules as part of PE class. Yep. All that's gone. You know, I remember like several years ago, I was driving by, my daughter was in elementary school at the time, and I look and there's lawn chairs out where the kids are just ripping around everywhere. There was no instruction. There was no learning these new sports. In the academy model, you hear a lot of these pro athletes talking about how important it is to be multi-sport, but it's tough on our parents and it's tough on the kids to be multi-sport when they're also trying to commit to like one sport. Our academy model, I'll just use Nashville as a prime example. We have a pool. We had a young man there that was a water polo player. Well, guess what sport all of the rest of the kids in our academy in Nashville learned about and played? Water polo.
That's so
right?
Cool.
Flag
I've
football,
never tried it.
Soccer. We've got indoor turf. You know, so the kids have an opportunity to be exposed to all of these other sports. They're not playing them necessarily competitively, but they're developing athleticism through getting to play all of these other different kinds of sports, even though they're there. You know,
well, I mean, a lot of time too, you learn more about life through sports. I talk about all the time. I'm extremely gracious for my degree from Penn because I think it's opened up the most doors, but I don't get that Penn degree without baseball. And I think that the biggest lessons I've taken the subject have really come from playing on the USA and TDP, the Chicago Steel, playing D1 baseball and learning about how difficult it is to navigate challenges with a coach, with a teammate, navigate challenges within an injury. It's so much about the lessons that sports give you. And that's what I love about the academy model is that, to your point, you could try different sports and you can really have a chance to be able to get ahead in your own sport, which is really exciting. When you think about, you know, the academy, what's the youngest student you currently serve? And what does it look like bringing a student in at that time versus high school?
You know, typically we're grades 6 through 12, but we do have some some younger ages. Obviously, the kids 5th grade and younger, they just take a lot more supervision and in-person support, right? And so we have an incredible soccer academy launching in St. Louis, led by
awesome.
our leader and partner, Philip McRae, who played.
He's great. Yeah, no, he's a London Knights, World Juniors. He's a great player.
2010 World Junior.
Yeah, championship. Yeah, I saw a John Carlson goal.
Yeah.
Bringing that back. Let's go.
Exactly. So that actually, I've noticed we have some younger, student athletes. We're getting a lot deeper into soccer. I mentioned we were visiting a potential partner before we came.
So would you say soccer is second to hockey now in the academy approach?
I would. Yeah, and there's so much incredible upside with soccer.
It's growing fast. Here in Austin, it's growing fast.
It is, but it's also the academy model is what already exists in Europe.
Yeah.
Right now, obviously, it's led and head up by the professional team typically, right? But that's they've figured that out over there, and so I think with obviously the growth, World Cup, the Olympics, everything that's happening here.
Oh yeah, it's a big summer coming up. So with the academy, I know, for instance, back in the day, I actually played against Nathan. Nathan coached against me as a player. Do you currently have any teams, or is it all academy approach? And talk about the decision to go one way or the other.
Great question. So in some locations, there are teams. It really depends on what the local market is demanding. In the soccer instance in St. Louis, it's all going to be individuals. So we have individuals coming from, I think, 5, 6, 7 different clubs around St. Louis, which is awesome. We do have some teams. Obviously, the team model maximizes development. It creates the most efficiencies, and it threads everything together, right? When you can follow the academy model as a team. You have better interaction between your strength and conditioning coach, your nutritionalist. I think what we're going to see, USA Hockey just recently passed the Development League.
Yes, I saw that. I would love to hear your thoughts on that.
I think it's amazing.
I'm super excited to see which clubs get the charter. That'll be next spring. It gets announced, right? Or in the winter? It won't be before the season. I saw that.
Correct.
I want to follow along deeply. And yeah, for anyone listening out there, this is, it's really providing more structure for AAA hockey in the United States. Is that the best way to think about it?
Yeah, I think we have amazing leadership in USA Hockey.
Agreed. We got the best hockey country in the world.
Yeah.
Let's go. Gold medal in men's and women's. Can't beat that.
And Ken Martell, we were already talking about Bob Mancini, Scott Pollock. The rest of the leadership at USA Hockey, I think, has done a phenomenal job. This passed well over 2/3 at the meeting in Nashville in January, which shows, the support's there. Yeah, and what I think I love the most about, and why I'm grateful for the leadership that we're getting right now, is the bottom line is this is going to put the focus on development,
which is the
focus. In my opinion, it's going to vastly raise our standards at the top level of youth hockey. And I think focusing and making sure that we're providing the kids and their families with all of the resources that should be being provided. I believe, the programs that we're directly involved in, we're already doing a lot of this, if not all of it, that's going to come to light. But I think it is going to standardize things. These kids don't need to be running around playing 70, 80 games. They should be paying attention about long-term athlete development. That's what it's all about. Again, I think our leadership has got it figured out.
That's great.
To try to get better. And I think this is going to put our kids on a path to having more American-born hockey players in the National Hockey League. And that's what our mandate is. And we're all a part of that.
What percentage of the NHL right now is Americans,
You know what? I just saw the stat.
It's like a little over 20% or something, or is it even higher now?
Yeah, I think it's higher.
Wow, let's go. Yeah, no, I'm excited because the American hockey, the American development model has definitely improved capacity quite a bit. The national team starting in the late 90s, I think that's helped a lot. I'm still very surprised.
I agree
that Canada hasn't done that. I think it's the junior teams. There's too much money involved. They don't want to let their star players go to a national team. Think if McDavid and McKinnon and all of them played together growing up.
Yeah.
Again, I'm an American. I love the USA Hockey, so I'm so pumped about the win. I'd be shocked and they still arguably could have lost that game. They got dominated, Like
just proved how critical, most important position on
the goalie.
goaltending, right?
Okay, so that's a good healthy segue actually. So Connor Hellebuyck, he had an incredible career. He played in some incredible junior leagues. Talk about a developer like him and why we should give more of a chance to so many great leagues out there.
I'm glad you asked that question because I think there's two things in our game that we do to the detriment of the players. Number one is we give the really good players, the really young good players, especially before they've hit puberty, we give them way too much credit.
Yeah.
To how good they are, right? And there's things coming out now from a science perspective, right? And just data perspective that, supports that even further. The second thing, exactly what you just mentioned, that's more the norm.
Yep.
They're actually not late bloomers.
Well said. Let's take that term back because it's such a backhanded compliment.
It is.
It really is.
So the second thing is we discount all the rest of the players too early, and that's where so much of it is tied to our genetics, right, and our physiological.
So much here, especially in hockey, it's a physical sport,
right? And at what speed our bodies are growing. I remember, Nick Dowd.
Just got traded.
He did.
Yeah.
He's a phenomenal, young man.
I'm excited. He has a good chance of winning the cup.
Yeah.
Me too. That'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. But I know he also loves,
I assume he probably did because he's been there a long time, like
500 games.
Yeah, I was surprised they made the move with him. He seems like a great guy. We talk about this a lot, and see, Nathan and I have incredible backgrounds, diverse opinions, and I love that about our relationship. But I think we both have the crux of we want what's best for humanity and best for kids always.
100%.
And how we can help student athletes. When we talk about navigating these spaces and how they're able to make the next step in their career, how can we just make sure that they're always supported with academics? I think that's my big push. I guess stay involved with TPH.
Yeah, I mean, again, so I just want to close the loop real quick.
Oh,
Nick
Dowd. Please,
it's okay. Yeah. So when Nick was 14, that was actually the first year we had started Tier 1 in the Southeast out of Nashville, Huntsville, Atlanta.
And that was everyone was driving together to meet up for tournaments, right?
Yeah, all these different towns, and so come together and either have practice on the weekends or playing games. That team went to nationals, and Nick was on it. And I don't even know if at that age, he weighed 100 pounds. He was one of the smallest players on the ice. The California Wave, actually.
You were in the crease, right?
Yeah.
You were in that movie?
Yeah. We were.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Yeah, we got pumped in the game.
Did you get interviewed in the movie?
No, but
great movie.
It is. But my point is, at 14, if you had told me that Nick Dowd was going to go on to play in the North American Hockey League, and then go to the USHL,
Indiana Ice,
and then play college hockey, and be runner-up for the Hobie to Johnny Hockey, and play in the National Hockey League for now over 600 games, I would have said, I don't know what you're smoking, but anybody would have said zero chance that's going to happen. He's such a prime example of us judging players at the ages of 12, 13, 14, 15, even 16 years old, far too early. When again, that's just where he was at. I mean, now he's tough as nails. He fights.
He's tough. No, he's a big guy.
Exactly.
He's strong. I played against him when he was on the Indiana Ice. He's a big, strong guy.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did. I did play against him. He was a very good player. I completely agree. No, and I completely agree with you. And I think that's a place, especially, where some of my messaging can be confusing with folks. My goal is always maximize your education above all else. Maximize your education. It's the most important thing. If you have a dream and you want to pursue it, it's your life. You should always pursue it. Just keep your education in mind. What's a great opportunity when he was in the NAHL or the Indiana Ice is the USHL is you can stay enrolled at community college. You can keep your mind going. And I don't know anything about his story, by the way. It's more so illuminating for our student athletes here. Always keep your education in mind, because if you want to pursue your dreams, you can be developing your mind at the same time.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that's where, we get into some of the discussion about...
Healthy discussion. We love discussion.
Yes. Well, junior hockey.
Yes.
Right? I think that the junior teams, whether it's the USHL, the North American Hockey League...
Which is the second highest D1 producer, I saw stat today. NAHL, second highest, more than any other league besides USHL.
Absolutely. Or even if it's Tier 3 hockey, which I actually played Tier 3 junior.
And what, it was in Canada or U.S.?
What's that?
Where did you play?
Oh, yeah, in Ontario.
Nice. What town?
Sarnia.
See, but you probably have good fans there. They have real fans in Canada. People love the game.
Yeah. It's a little bit different, but where I was going is the junior teams that really get it, and this is where I think this goes along to some of the points you've made in the past. Do your research on the team, right? I don't think blanketing tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3. I think there's unbelievable places to play at all of those levels. The key is to do your research on how the ownership and the coaches and the GM are running that particular program. If they're just letting guys run around town or play Fortnite all day, and you've graduated high school, probably not, I
love where we're going with this. This is such a great discussion, and fans, I really think this is something that more people need to talk about this. So junior hockey, how do you approach it? How do you make sure it's best for your son? There's no any angst comments on there's no women's junior hockey team yet, but maybe that'll happen. Maybe you could start junior hockey for women. I think what's really interesting is, my experiences, and everyone's experience dictates how they think about things. Your experience dictates yours. My experience dictates mine.
Yeah.
My experience with the National Development Team program is still arguably the most transformative experience I've had in my whole life. I was the worst player. It challenged me so much, and it made me really understand what greatness looked like. So I really had a great experience. What's interesting is, and I don't want to blow my cover here, Chicago Steel was a really bad experience. It was before the new ownership. Give them credit. They are amazing, and it's now the best team in the USHL. So it was a poor experience. I was driving. I was living at home in Cary, Illinois. I was driving 45 minutes a day. Okay. So that part made it tough.
Yeah.
I was not able to get the lifting and training in. To your point, every team is different. You go to the national team, you're getting the best trainers every day. The Steel, we were not lifting heavy. We were not training at the top level. So I had a little bit of a lesser experience my time with the Steel. And so sometimes that can develop angst towards your experience with junior hockey. If you go play one of the best, I think about what some of these NA teams in Texas, I mean, you're a rock star there. People love those teams.
Amazing places to play.
To Texas,
Shreveport,
Shreveport, yes.
Unbelievable.
All the southern, now the fans are going to come at me like, well, you don't like the northern team. No, but it's so important. One of the biggest things that I looked at when I was a hockey player, I'd love for you to, piggyback off this, is I always looked at the attendance for college and junior hockey and wanted to target some of those teams. There are some teams in the NA that have so many more fans than even major junior teams. That's where I would really consider as a chance to get an incredible experience and really feel like you're living out your dream.
Yeah, again, that's where it goes back to, I think, doing your research.
Have to do your research.
As a parent, but there's so many unbelievable places to play, in the North American Hockey League. The commissioner, Mark Frankenfeld, I think is amazing.
He's done an incredible job. I really like
his vision, his growth, where he's taken that league over the long run, and how many kids he has helped. Yep. That league has helped. I know several owners in the league. A lot of those ownership groups don't make money, and they're just purely doing it for the love of the game.
It's beautiful.
They're investing back into the coaches.
Anyone you want to give a shout out? Any cool organizations in the NA that you'd like to shout out?
Well, a little bit impartial to the Shreveport Mudbugs. So Scotty Musket is the GM there, Tommy Scott, the owner, and Kevin Cook and some other.
What a great place to play. You get to live in Louisiana and play top tier hockey. It's pretty special. And then when you talk about junior leagues across North America, besides USHL and NA, what's an underrated random league that people don't know about and they should take a look at?
I'm a big fan and supporter of the 3HL and Tier 3 hockey.
And that leads into the NA, correct?
It does, correct. And that's where there's a clear pathway, right? It helps players develop. Maybe you've got kind of a tweener. They're just not quite at that Tier 2 level yet. Again, maybe their bodies aren't quite mature, or maybe they're just, and it's a better step for them, and they've made that jump from youth. They've graduated high school, right?
Yep.
And they've made that.
So is that new in the new development model too? Now that you're no longer playing overage midget major year, or is that not the case? Someone I think mentioned that.
No, out of the gate, USA Hockey, they'll launch 15U and 17U, but you can still have 16U? 18. Well, they're not removing it. If you are awarded one of the DL programs, you can't have a national bound 16U.
Interesting.
So,
Why?
or 15U, because now you have a DL distinction at 15s and 17s. So you can still maintain an 18. I'm also, and this goes back to the comment you made about, again, with late bloomers. I'm personally a fan of 18U hockey. A lot of folks are, put it down or think, hey, well, because there's been so many players already move on to junior. And I'm just like, we have seen so many kids play 1 or even 2 years of 18U hockey and go on to eventually play Division I college hockey.
I think 18U hockey is great, by the way. And I think that's where, and again, a healthy discussion. My push is to stay with your 16U, 18U program as long as you can, because I think that continuity can really help your development. And I've seen a lot of players leave home too early, and it really hurts. It hurts their personal development as well. And so that's where I'm always a little bit cautious. Like, hey, really prioritize your development. I think we completely align on that. Like, if you can get top minutes at a AAA team, I think that could be really good for your development long term. Playing with the puck and really being able to be a focal point of a coach's strategy, I think it just really boosts your confidence.
I totally agree. And I'll just, give you kind of what I think is a really great example. Brandon Arado's one of my really
such a good coach. He's
incredible. He's amazing.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. Good year this year.
He is. But so that's my point. You have to be. You need to be patient with your development, and this comes back to when you're at that level at University of Michigan. This comes back to your agent, your family, and your own level of patience. And what NAR has done is successfully had some players realize like that could have maybe gone and signed, but maybe they end up in the American League versus coming back, spending another year at Michigan. His power play is ridiculous. The amount of offense, he has so much to offer developing players at the University of Michigan. That's why he continues to get some unbelievable, top players, obviously, in North America playing for him, because they realize if I just spend one more year there and take a deep breath and really gain more confidence, and now I come out as a 20, 21, 22-year-old man versus taking that step as an 18 or 19-year-old. We all know, again, physiological where that is, but then also mentally, those kids are coming out with so much more confidence. Perhaps they don't get sent to the American League. Perhaps they're able to step into the National Hockey League, right? And so that goes all the way down. To your point, don't leave home unless your athletic abilities are going to have you in the lineup on a consistent basis. Maybe, to your point, take a deep breath, play a year at 16 or play a year at 18 or even 2 years, and then take a step into the North American League or the USHL when you're actually going to be able to be a consistent player in the lineup, right?
I completely, Brandon Arado, I saw him say, and I love that he stepped out and said it's better to play at Michigan than the AHL. I feel like people hated on him, but I hear, and you're getting your education. But then too, I have a good personal story on the rush development piece. I'm exactly where I'm meant to be right now. I'm leading an incredible company, so I'm so gracious. Thank you, Subject. But from a hockey standpoint, myself and my teammate, I had a teammate, Ryan DeZingle, he ended up playing around 10 years NHL, great player. I actually met my wife with him.
I heard that.
At this table, yeah, it was a good time. Very lucky. But, we were playing together, and both really strong players. I led the team in scoring. He was second on the team in scoring. We both commit to Ohio State, go back to play 18U AAA. Awesome. We're going to have a great year. I get picked to play on the national team a month into the season, so I had to move to Ann Arbor. Can't pass up the national team. Got to take that chance. Stunted my development. I was the fourth line player. I lost a lot of my confidence. Started falling out of hockey. He plays another year of 18U AAA. He's the best player there. Then he goes to the USHL as not an overager. He goes as 1 year out of high school, but after his draft year, has an incredible draft or post-draft year. Gets drafted by the Ottawa Senators. Goes to Ohio State, All-American. Plays 1 year at Binghamton in the AHL, makes the NHL. And so sometimes when you're in the thick of it, you're in a race. You're in a race to get to the highest level as quickly as possible. my plan with my dad was we're going to have a great 18-year AAA year, and then I'm going to play 1 year of USHL, tear it up, get drafted. But because the national team had sped up my plans, maybe if I don't do that, I end up staying with hockey longer. Don't rush your development. You know your development, and I think there's a lot of harm when you go and be a fourth line or a scratch. Hey, I was lucky enough. I never once got scratched in my career. Very lucky, but yeah. If
That's almost unheard
it's hard.
of,
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, but if you're a fourth line or scratch player versus you stay back level, and maybe that's the point. Honestly, even our overall discussion, like if you could go be a first line player in the NA or a fourth line player in the USHL, it might be better to be in the NA for a year and tear it up.
Well, listen, I don't think there's any better place in North America to play than the U.S. National Development Team program.
I agree. I want to make that clear too. It's an honor to this day.
100%. I just for
I think it's better
16,
than anywhere.
17. I think it is the
Jack Hughes
best holistic approach to to everything. Again, sometimes certain things come down to coaches, right, and their decisions. But again, let's just take a deep breath. Also, I think a lot of times parents, even when sometimes as a teenager, maybe the skills are at a junior level, but perhaps the maturity is not.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
Just as important, right?
And then that's bad, especially if you're living alone and your maturity's not there. That's something that I really want to help parents understand. Like, hey, you really want to be able to focus on the whole development. Why a TPH Academy is so phenomenal. Why, if you can be able to build up your entire mindset, you could be super helpful.
Yeah, and just to also close the loop, because we were talking about how to keep education and academics going.
Number one.
I think this year, Philip McRae in St. Louis, I think we have 12 or 13, I believe, players that are that are alumni of the TPH Academy in St. Louis, and they're all off playing in different places in junior hockey, but they're still doing their academics.
Oh, with you?
Through TPH.
Oh, that's amazing. See,
so they maintain the consistency, right, of your schooling. The accountability is there. They're being held accountable by us, hopefully as well by their local junior team, that they're playing for, and there's good, clear communication there. But that's the other piece of what you've built, right? Subject platform. Hey, I come in as a middle schooler or high schooler, and my athletic abilities all of a sudden take me out of Austin, and I'm going to play soccer somewhere else, or baseball, or volleyball, right? And now I can maintain the consistency of my education, right? And it's one less thing that if I have to move somewhere, it's one less thing that I have to adjust to as a young man or a young lady that's pursuing their athletic career.
I think that's amazing and so beautifully said. When you think about what you could be able to tell the listeners out there why they should really think about a TPH Academy, what would you want to leave them with?
Number one is the healthy choice that it is. And I go back to the sleep piece. I
love the sleep piece. That's going to be a good clip.
And for me, family was and
it is everything. It is.
For me. How I was raised by my folks in my house. I literally remember my mom forcing my sister and I to sit down before we went to the rink or the baseball diamond or the softball field, right? And saying, you're sitting at this kitchen table and we're going to eat together before, I drive you 20 minutes to go to practice. And that dinner at the family, table meant so much, right? And we connected. And I know, like, for my family now, my son especially, like, and my daughter, they love it when we go to a restaurant because we're forced to sit there. There's no devices allowed, right? We sit there and hang out and talk. So I think those three things, in my opinion, are the biggest pieces, which that's somewhat outside the academy. Within the academy, our kids can get done what they need to do from an academic perspective, 4.5 hours a day, right, to really maximize and make sure they're on a path to have the best possible academic outcomes they can to get in the best colleges or universities if they decide to go that path. But then, man, like, can you imagine, again, you had this at the national program, like, you're going to school and getting to do what you love to do the most every day.
And so fun.
It's amazing. And
it's so fun.
We wouldn't have to have our parents wake us up. We'd be out the door in the morning, know that we're going to get to touch the ice that day.
I love touching the ice.
As being with other like-minded, either hockey players or figure skaters, again, volleyball, soccer, basketball, whatever the sport is, but they're in the academy setting together, and they all have that mindset of like, I want more. I want to go higher with my sport. So I think I'm jealous, you know, of our student athletes.
I am. That's a great place to be. You've done a great job. You should be so proud of what you built. I'm so impressed. And I think what's so exciting is, again, 19 different disciplines, 3 different countries, the impact, the scale. It's just the beginning, and anything we could do to help you more, we're here for you. And just love your passion for the game and what we're doing for USA Hockey, but also for these new sports, and really bringing a diverse environment for people to learn from each other. And I think that's really the beauty of education, the beauty of sport, and why I'm so excited to partner with you. I really appreciate the time.
Well, we appreciate everything you and your whole team's got rolling, and I'm excited to learn more about the new product here in a few minutes.
Absolutely. Let's go do it. Thanks for your time today. That was awesome.
Yeah,
thanks, Clifton.